Happy Hump Day, everyone. Welcome to Kimona Therapy, a ritual to process life, where every week I share a message to heal our spirit. Hi, my name is Christina. I'm a Reiki practitioner, teacher, and therapist. So before we get started on this week's message, we are going to do the singing bowl. It's in the note of D, which is our sacral chakra. So let's get started, okay, guys? Sound just helps to center and ground and take in this week's message. All right. So the message this week is gather the troops. So the card says, when we're stressed, we tend to alienate ourselves and pull back from people, when what we need is the opposite. Studies on breast cancer survivors show that women who are in a support group stay in remission longer than those who try to go it alone. Men who receive loving support from partners and family members are less likely to have a second heart attack. So it stands to reason that we can all benefit from time spent in the company of those we care. So, gather the troops. So, something that hugely, I believe, affected gathering the troops in our lives was when COVID hit a little over 2 years ago, and it affected everyone. It even affected me. We ended up having to isolate ourselves from one another. We ended up having to remain 6 feet apart. Like, I saw videos where grandparents and grandchildren couldn't connect, and they even made this like makeshift screen in front with arms so they could hug their grandchildren, but they didn't want their grandchildren or the grandparents to get sick and ill, because back in the beginning so many people became terminally ill and some lost their lives. So it still affects us today when it comes to the troops that we have around us when we're going through battles in our life. And we have a hormone called dopamine that is responsible. It's our happiness hormone. And if you look at the statistics of depression since COVID hit, they have drastically increased, because when we're isolated and we're not able to have physical touch and we're not sitting close with one another, our dopamine level decreases and we end up starting to feel depressed. And I went through a period of time there where I started feeling really, really depressed. And I knew that I was spiraling downward and I had to figure out a way to get out of it. And I did figure out a way, which I will share momentarily, and hopefully this helps you that's watching. The other part that research has shown with depression, mental illness has increased, heart disease has increased, diabetes has increased, because we end up either overeating or over drinking because we're in isolation, or we find another addiction like television. Like, we end up finding something to fill that void during isolation. So it has not had a positive impact on our well-being. So the real importance of this week's message to gather the troops that I want to share with you is that we need to take responsibility to gather our own troops. And you're a member of this group. This is hopefully a troop for you that builds your spirit, that heals your spirit with the messages that I share weekly every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Some of you may have a great support system in place. You have family, you have friends. Some of you may not. This message is for those that, like me before, did not have a great support system, and I had to take responsibility for myself, and I had to create my support system. So what I had to do was I actually had to start reaching out. And even though with isolation we couldn't really necessarily physically reach out, there are wonderful other alternatives to do that. One is through social media. I get to connect with you every single week, and that increases my dopamine, because you might respond to my message, you might give a heart, you might give a share. I don't do it for gratification. I do it because it's important for us to gather the troops. And if you're feeling still the effects of what COVID has done to our society and to this planet and to everyone as a whole, is to take responsibility and start taking uncomfortable action and putting yourself out there. Some things that I recommend and suggest is, if there's something that you're going through right now and you don't have people close to you that are being supportive, go on Facebook, type in what it is you're going through in the search engine, and find a support group and join. Contact your friends more frequently. Contact your family, even if it's a phone call. Do a Zoom call. If you don't know how to get into Zoom, if you don't understand that aspect of technology, there's videos that you can learn how to do it. And it just, again, increases your dopamine, starts to alleviate your depression. And it's so important for us to gather the troops. Family doesn't have to just be biological. We get to create our family. And now more than ever, we need to create our own family by taking responsibility, gather our troops when we're in a battlefield, or have people in the bleachers behind us cheering us on, because there might be some people in our life that are not cheering us on. That's where we have to go find people to help cheer us on. And there are people that have been in the same position as you, or are currently in the same position as you, and you can relate and connect and possibly have an impact on their life as well. So yeah, gather the troops, take uncomfortable action, put yourself out there, find groups that can help you. Contact your family and friends more frequently. I'm sure they would love to hear from you, even if it's a quick text message in the morning. You know, I text my friends like, "Good morning, beautiful," or "Happy Friday." Just, we have to stay connected. If we isolate ourselves even more, again, depression sinks in, dopamine levels decrease. We want to keep ourselves elevated as much as possible. So gather your troops. Comment below, like, share. If you're having deeper issues with depression, please do not hesitate to reach out and contact me. I can help you. My current email is christiana033@yahoo.ca, christiana033@yahoo.ca. Eventually I will change my email, but currently that is the one that you can contact me in, all right? I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Gather your troops. Get a strong support system behind you. You're going to start feeling better. I know I did. Take care, guys. Love to all. Bye.